You smash the sports car into the wall. You don't flinch. You look into the camera. Money isn't a tool. Money is a drug. The purest one ever invented. And you've got more of it than any man has a right to. Cars stacked in the driveway. Engines still warm. An estate with a name carved into the gate. A supermodel wife on your arm, turning heads without trying. Pills, coke, whiskey, all of it. Every single night. No exceptions, no apologies. Rewind, 1987. Before the yacht, before the wire, before any of it had a name. You step off a commuter bus, cheap suit, big dreams. A briefcase full of nothing but ambition. Manhattan doesn't care who you are. You land a job at LF Rothschild. Old money, old rules, marble floors, and men who've never worked a day with their hands. Your mentor's name is Mark Hanna. Slicked hair, predator eyes, the kind of smile that costs you money. He takes you to lunch, martinis before noon, steak you can't afford yet. He asks if you know what a fugazi is. You guess. Fake. He nods, slow. Fairy dust. Not on any chart. Doesn't exist. Never did. He leans in close. Your job isn't to make the client rich. Your job is to move his money out of his pocket and into yours. Keep him on the wheel. Feed him hope, not profit. Never let him cash out. A happy client is a broke client who doesn't know it yet. Hannah pounds his chest, hums low. Tribal, right there in the middle of the restaurant. Ties loosened, other diners staring. You join in. You believe every word like it's scripture handed down just for you. Then Black Monday hits. October 19th. The market bleeds out in a single afternoon. Screens turn red and stay red. Rothschild collapses overnight. You're on the street with a license and no floor to stand on. Your wife Teresa pushes you out the door. Find something. Anything. Rent doesn't stop because Wall Street did. You find a strip mall on Long Island, Investors Center, fluorescent lights, folding chairs, penny stocks. Nobody with real money will touch. You ask about commission. 50%. Nobody at Rothschild ever paid you that. Nobody ever will again unless you make it happen yourself. You sit down at a scratched-up desk. Pick up a black rotary phone. Dial a plumber named John. The room goes quiet around you. You talk about Aerotyne International, a company that barely exists on paper. You make it sound like the future is already written, and he's late to it. Urgency, confidence, a promise wrapped in a smile he can't see. John buys $4,000 worth on a stranger's voice alone. You just made $2,000 off one phone call. The room stares. Nobody moves. Nobody breathes. You just rewrote the ceiling for every broker on that floor with one phone call to a man you'll never meet in person. Days later, a diner booth. A stranger in loud clothes and huge glasses slides in across from you like he owns the seat. He points out the window. That your Jag? You nod. How much you make? 70 grand. Last month. Alone. He stares at you like you're lying. Show me the pay stub and I'll quit my job right now. Standing here, today. You hand it over without a word. He reads it once, walks straight to the payphone, screams that he quits into the receiver. His name is Danny Ostroff. He's yours now, for good, no contract needed. You build a crew out of nothing, small-time hustlers, weed dealers, guys with nothing left to lose and everything to prove. Robbie, Alden, Chester, Brad, none of them have ever worn a suit that fit right. None of them have ever held a phone that made this kind of money. You're about to change all of it. You gather them in a dead auto shop that still smells like motor oil. You teach them the game from the ground up. Forget the poor, you tell them. Go after the rich, the top 1%. They've got money to burn and egos too big to ever say no to a good story. You name the firm Sterling Crest. Sounds like old money. Sounds safe. Sounds like something it isn't. You rent a glass tower downtown. You hire hundreds of kids who'd sell their own mothers for a taste of what you have. You stand on a stage and scream at a sea of hungry faces packed shoulder to shoulder. Get rich, you tell them. Poverty has no nobility. Fix every broken thing in your life with cash, because nothing else works as fast. The floor turns into chaos. Dwarf tossing on Fridays, marching bands through the lobby, strippers on desks between calls, powder in every bathroom stall. You're a god wearing a suit that cost more than your first apartment. Then you meet her, Hamptons. A beach house party spilling onto the sand. A model named Naomi steps out of the crowd and the whole room goes quiet in your head. You chase her, behind Teresa's back, again and again. Teresa catches you, backseat of a limo, lipstick on your collar, screaming, crying, done. For real this time. She's gone before morning. You marry Naomi, $1 million wedding under a Caribbean sun. You hand her the keys to a yacht with her own name painted across the hull. Sterling Crest hits its peak. You take Steve Madden public, a shoe company nobody's heard of yet, about to be everywhere. You rig it top to bottom. Straw buyers, hidden shares, Danny's own family fronting stock they'll never actually touch. IPO day, You pump it hard, you dump it harder. $22 million, 3 minutes flat. You're untouchable. You believe that too, all the way down to your bones. Champagne at every desk. A helicopter on the roof for lunch runs. A closet full of suits you'll wear once and forget. You stopped counting the zeros months ago. You're also on the FBI's radar now, whether you feel it yet or not. Every wire transfer, every straw buyer, every offshore signature is sitting in a file with your name typed across the top in black ink. Agent Denham starts pulling threads. Quiet, patient, never raising his voice, never blinking first. You panic in your own way. You invite him onto the yacht. Champagne on ice. Small talk about nothing. A soft offer to help him pass his exams. Come work for real money. Leave the badge behind. He doesn't blink. He tells you he still rides the subway home every night. He still sleeps just fine. You lose it completely. He walks off the boat calm as ever. You throw stacks of cash after him down the dock, screaming, "Take a cab." Take all of it. Underneath the rage, you're terrified, and it shows. You start moving the money. Switzerland. A banker named Sorel promises to bury it somewhere no subpoena can reach. You need a name that isn't American on the account. Naomi's Aunt Emma signs the papers without asking too many questions. Then the smuggling starts, and it doesn't stop. Cash strapped to bodies under loose clothing, through customs with a smile. Brad and his wife Chanel carry millions across the border like it's nothing at all. Back home, you get your hands on something rare. Lemon 714s, sitting in a vault for 20 years, still sealed. You and Danny swallow a few at your place. Nothing happens for an hour. You swallow more, figuring the batch went dead. Then your lawyer calls. Your home line is tapped. Sorel's been arrested in Miami. Brad too, picked up right beside him. That's when the pills finally hit. All at once. No warning. Your legs stop working. Your mouth stops working. You're on the floor of your own foyer. Useless. You crawl. Down the stone steps outside. Across the driveway. Slurring words nobody could understand. You reach the Lamborghini somehow. You kick the scissor door open with one foot. You crawl inside on your stomach. Somehow you drive home. Somehow. You stumble through your front door and find Danny already on the floor, choking on raw ham, eyes rolled back white. You drop on top of him without thinking. You pound his chest. You force the air back into his lungs one desperate hit at a time. He breathes again. Morning comes. The drug fog finally lifts off you. You walk outside to check the damage. Your Lamborghini is destroyed. Crashed into parked cars, mailboxes, streetlights, all the way home, and you don't remember a single one. The police are already waiting in your driveway. The FBI moves in for real this time. Fraud, laundering, decades on the table if it goes to trial. You cut a deal to save yourself. Wear a wire. Give up your friends one recorded word at a time. Give up Danny first. You sit across from him in a restaurant booth, wire taped flat against your chest. Your hand writes 4 words on a napkin without thinking twice. Don't say anything stupid. You slide it across the table. Danny reads it once, nods once, says nothing back to you, ever again. The feds find the napkin days later. Your deal is dead on arrival. You go home to a wife who's already gone in every way that matters. Naomi tells you she's leaving, taking the kids, taking everything that's left standing. You break completely. You smash the glass door with your bare hand. You grab your daughter before you can think it through. You strap her into the Mercedes with shaking hands. You floor it straight toward the closed garage door. Steel meets concrete. You reverse hard into the wall behind you. Security drags your daughter out through broken glass while you scream. You sit behind the wheel, covered in shards, sobbing like a man who just watched himself disappear. You lose everything that ever mattered in under a minute. The cars, the yacht, the marriage, all of it was easier to burn than you thought. 22 months in a minimum security cell, tennis courts, quiet mornings, more time to think than you've ever had in your life. No yacht, no wife, no wire taped to your chest, just you, a racket, and every mistake replaying on a loop you can't switch off. Then you're out. New Zealand, a stage, a packed auditorium full of strangers hungry for exactly what you used to have. You walk out to applause that still feels like oxygen after years of holding your breath. You step off the stage, into the crowd, right among them. You pull a pen from your jacket pocket. You hand it to a man in the front row. "Sell me this pen," he stammers. "Nice pen," he says. Comfortable grip, weak, nowhere close. You take it back, hand it to the next one in line. "Sell me this pen." Same fumble. Same silence sitting where confidence should be standing. You look out at the room, slow, letting it land. Hundreds of faces, all staring back at you, all starving for it, all ready to learn exactly what you taught yourself 20 years ago in a strip mall nobody remembers the name of. The hunger never left the room. It just changed clothes, changed cities, and waited for someone like you to walk back in and give it a name again. It just found a new face to wear.